Today we're using 30 of the weirdest teams ever constructed in NBA history, but each player on these baffling rosters has been put into their prime. This idea was born after I saw a Dom2K quote tweet pointing out the weirdness of Luka and Dirk playing for the Mavs at the same time. I mean, that actually happened. That's so wild. Replies to that original tweet did not disappoint, with many other weird combinations of players, legends in strange jerseys, big threes way past their prime, all mentioned. Long story short, I let Twitter do the bulk of the brainstorming for this video, and I went ahead and built us a roster. And I'll start by showing you a few rosters that I classify as like truly weird. Like when you see a picture of Hakeem and Vince Carter in Raptors jerseys together, I mean, it's just like, did that actually happen? I don't think this team will simulate very well, but it's so fun. Similarly weird, it's like a cursed image every time you see Patrick Ewing, Knicks legend, in a Seattle Sonics jersey alongside Gary Payton. I mean, in their prime would have been a sick duo, but yeah, so strange. Speaking of Knicks legend Patrick Ewing, how about the year after 2002 when he played for the Magic? Yeah, dude, Patrick Ewing was ring chasing, played with Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill, who could never stay healthy. This is a really cool what if team. I love it. Brad, 2019 was like 5 years ago, granted before the pandemic, which like, what does time even mean? It wasn't that long ago. Tony Parker apparently played for the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I've just blocked it out of my memory, to be honest. And finally, in the truly weird category, a team that will probably break this video, on the 2013 Spurs, Tracy McGrady was on their roster in the playoffs. In the NBA Finals, imagine him with Kawhi, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, all in their prime. This team is unfair. Best team on paper by a mile. We move on. I wanted to point out two rosters that I called in my notes. What were they cooking? What were these teams thinking? The 1997 Phoenix Suns, they had just drafted Steve Nash a couple seasons prior. He was not very good. They also had Jason Kidd and Kevin Johnson all on their roster. 3 Hall of Fame All-NBA point guards. What? Also, what were they cooking? Just 2 years after winning a ring in 2006, Shaq was starting to age. Dwayne Wade was still awesome. Alonzo Mourning was like 50 years old. They brought in Penny Hardaway, who was like 65 years old. Low-key, this team is going to simulate really well, but what a strange roster. I mentioned them in the intro, but the 2019 Mavericks, an example in this video of a few rosters that have different generations colliding. Dirk, obviously, on his last legs, joining up with Luka before he became Luka. Also, Jalen Brunson was on that team, and Kristaps, although he was injured all year. Very similar to that Mavs team, a crossing of generation. The 2016 Timberwolves, KG returned there just before he retired. He played with Karl Anthony Towns and Zach LaVine. Throw Kevin Martin in there, Ricky Rubio, Andrew Witt. This team's kind of really deep. I'm just noticing that. And our third different generations colliding team, the 2010 Sixers, Allen Iverson returned there for a short spell just before he retired. Also Elton Brand, he was very old at the time, but Andre Iguodala, young Drew Holiday, young Thaddeus Young, Lou Will, fun team, I guess. Okay, now we move on to a category I called "This was actually a good idea." Did it turn out well for these rosters? Not so much, but I can see what they were cooking. The 2016 LA Clippers, they were still the Lob City Clippers with CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, but they brought in old man Paul Pierce. Imagine if he was in his prime with those three. They also had Josh Smith, JJ Redick, Jamal, Lance Stevenson. Yo, I see the vision. A team that's actually really reminiscent of that, the 2013 Knicks. I've got prime Melo, prime Jason Kidd, Amari, Rasheed Wallace was on that team for a hot second. They went to the second round of the playoffs. Kenyon Martin, Tyson Chandler, J.R. Smith. A bunch of these dudes were not healthy. They were way past their prime, but it was solid. Obviously, the 2004 Lakers had to be in this video. Anytime you see a picture of Karl Malone, Gary Payton in a Lakers jersey with Shaq and Kobe, I mean, and this team made the finals, so imagine this big four in their prime. They could probably challenge the Spurs here. We will see. And probably the biggest what-if team in recent NBA history, at least in my mind, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins. They were cooking the NBA until Cuz tore his Achilles, right? With Rondo in his prime, Drew Holiday, Josh Smith was on this team too. That's nice. And our final category of teams before we jump into the simulation, when I saw these rosters, I was like, no, seriously, just imagine if the 2014 Nets were at all in their prime, near their prime. Literally none of them were. KG, Paul Pierce were way old. Darren Williams, Joe Johnson weren't all-stars anymore. AK-47, Brook, like This team, it is, bruh, I still remember 2014. I thought they were going to be good. You know, we needed one La Super team in this video. The 2018 Cavs, this was before they traded away their entire roster and made the finals. But if LeBron had just one of prime D Wade or prime Derrick Rose, or like, I don't know, if Kyle Korver didn't shoot like 0% in the finals, what could have been, dude? And finally, the 1980 Boston Celtics. I believe Larry Bird was in his first or second season. He crossed over with Dave Cowens, who was a former MVP, Nate Archibald, who was amazing, and freaking Pistol Pete Maravich. I did not know this team existed until I was doing the research. Like, that is crazy. And that was a lot of teams, more than I usually show in the intro. Let me know which of those was your favorite. Who do you think wins in this video, and which prime weird team should I have included? Leave me a comment. Also, real quick, guys, wanted to shout out my sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Use code JCAN when signing up. My link and more info is down below. Just in time for the NBA Finals, they've launched a new feature called Pick 8, meaning when playing Pick'em, instead of just 5 picks, you can make up to 8, meaning you can 325 times your money. That is so much. Along with that, you can also double flex pick, meaning you can miss 1 or 2. You can take a couple L's and still end up with a massive W. Again, use code JCAN. Link and more info is down below. Shout out to Underdog. Back to the video. And would you look at this, dude? I had no idea where this season sim would go, but I just mentioned them, dude. The 2014 Nets, Kevin Garnett, a huge stat line to win MVP. Okay. Junior Bridgman, oh, from the 1983 Bucks. I didn't show them in the intro. They're obviously very loaded as well. Interesting. My guy, Patrick Ewing, not the Sonics version, but the Magic version, winning DPOY. Ooh, 22 and 30. They must have been good. Carmelo Anthony for the 2013 Knicks, winning Clutch Player of the Year. That bodes well for them. All NBA First Team features that Kevin Garnett. Michael Jordan. I didn't show the 1986 Bulls. I don't think they would have simulated well. We've got Luka, our second KG, and LeBron. All right. All NBA second, Carmelo Anthony from the 2020 Blazers. Remember when he played with Dame in Portland? Shaq from the Heat. We've got Kevin Love from the 2018 Cavs, Dave Cowens, and Dirk. Okay, those Mavs must be good. All NBA third, we've got Chris Webber from the 2008 Warriors, where he finished his career, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Jason Kidd, and Karl Malone, not the Lakers version. Into the playoffs, we've got 16 teams, obviously. Looks like the 04 Lakers are the 1 seed in the West, and the 2008 Heat are the 1 seed in the East. I did not see that come. Well, no, actually, they were pretty good. Most of these teams are very good. I gotta stop trying to make predictions. Interesting. Okay, all right. The Western Conference, the Lakers were the first seed with 53 wins. I knew the Spurs would be good with 51. KG Towns and the Timberwolves. The point guard, the Phoenix Suns made the playoffs with 3 point guards. I've seen it all. The 09 Rockets, awesome. But the bottom of the West playoff bracket, 39 wins made the playoffs. What? Missing the playoffs, Ron Artest on the 2008 Kings. Too bad. Chris Webber on the 2008 Warriors. No, what? DeMarcus and AD didn't work out at all. The Sonics, Patrick Ewing missed. AI Mello on the Nuggets. That's too bad. Only 2 teams I didn't shout out in the intro made the playoffs in the West. The 2009 Rockets, very interesting. I saw a lot of people mentioning on that Twitter thread earlier this Rockets team because Dikembe Mutombo and Kyle Lowry played on the same team with Ron Artest, Shane Battier. So weird. And also, I need to shout out one of, I believe, 3, if not 4 teams Allen Iverson made it. It was so weird when Allen Iverson started team hopping. He played 3 games with the 2010 Grizzlies. Good enough to make the video and apparently to make the playoffs too. Good job, AI. Okay. So the Eastern Conference clearly much better. The 08 Heat won 65 games. The 2014 Nets won 60. Yup, that is top end in the East is crazy. The Bucks, I gotta show you their roster. The 07 Pistons. Okay, that 1980 Celtics team, I knew they were good. Vince and Hakeem did it. Wow, that is shocking. The Hornets being the worst team in the East, not very shocking. The Pacers, yeah, that wasn't a great team. John Wall, Paul Pierce, Bradley Beal missed. Patrick Ewing, he missed the playoffs in both conferences. MJ and George Gervin too. It's too bad. I always like to have Michael Jordan doing well in these videos because, you know, he's Michael Jordan, but so many people mention the fact that him and George Gervin played together as being super weird. I had a feeling this team wouldn't simulate well. They just missed the playoffs. Making the playoffs though in the East, I didn't mention them earlier. The 1983 Bucks, Dave Cowens, he finished his career, I believe, with this Bucks team. He was way past his prime. Bob Lanier, Sidney Moncrief, Marcus Johnson. Yeah, just kind of Cowens and Lanier there. I can't believe it's working. And also from the East, the 2007 Pistons, Chris Webber went there. He was very old. This was the roster that played against LeBron in his historic 48 points. Remember that game? But if C-Webb was in his prime, might have been a little different. Dale Davis in his prime is a 90 overall. That's kind of wild. This team is super deep. League leaders for our season simulation: Michael Jordan, the scoring champ by a mile. Makes sense. It was him, George Gervin, nothing else. Vince Carter. Dude, if the Raptors make a run, that would be awesome. T-Mac in the 09 Rockets, Kobe in the 04 Lakers, Karl Malone. Sorry, Carl, you missed the playoffs. Oh my word. Dave Cowens on the Celtics, a beast. He averaged 20 and 15 a game. Dave Cowens on the Bucks averaged 18 and 13. They might meet in the playoffs, by the way. Interesting. Okay, all right, the Suns. So Jason Kidd averaged 18 and 10, pretty good. Steve Nash came off the bench most of the season. Wow, he also averaged 9 assists per game. Kevin Johnson, 8. I mean, it worked. They made the playoffs. The point guards be dishing. If they make a run, that would be hilarious. Yeah, Vince Carter, 26, 5 and 5. Hakeem, 23 and 11. That dynamic duo is kind of eaten. But here we go. It is time for the playoffs with plenty of storylines yet to unfold. Will we see any upsets in round one? I hope so. And right out the gates, we do have an upset in round one in the West. Memphis taking down the Timberwolves. Luka, Dirk, and the Mavs. Yeah, they lost to San Antonio. The Spurs are so good. While over in the East, we've got a choke. The 2018 Cavs, LeBron, the 3 seed, yeah, they fell in 6 to Detroit, getting their revenge on LeBron. We also have multiple Game 7s on deck. This series, though, between the Heat, Hakeem, Vince Carter, and the Raps, it's 3-2 for Miami. Come on, Toronto. Force a Game 7. I need it. No, but with a late surge in the fourth quarter, man, this game was low-key close. Look at Hakeem out there guarding Shaq. Vince Carter guarding Alonzo Mourning. What were they doing with their rotation? But after that Game 6 finish, we have 4 Game 7s still yet to be determined in the first round. Dude, this roster, I knew it was good, very tight all around. We'll begin with the 2013 Knicks and the 1983 Milwaukee Bucks, teams that played 30 years apart. They're both very weird. They're both in their prime, and it's not a clutch finish. The Bucks on home court able to hold off a Knicks surge. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of rooting for that Knicks team. I have no idea who I'm rooting for here. The point guard Suns team probably, but I love Yao, T-Mac, freaking Kyle Lowry on this Rockets squad. Oh my word. Game 7 going right down to the wire. The Rockets down 4. Phoenix, can they get enough stops to close this out? T-Mac going to work on Jason Kidd. That's a bit of a mismatch. T-Mac over Kidd, misses, but he's tall. That's why it's a mismatch. Okay. Bench, no Yao out here for the Rockets, but they've got Dikembe inside. He won 1 million DPOYs. T-Mac on the other side. If anybody's clutch in these moments, 13 points, 33 seconds. T-Mac, wait a minute. That was a bit forced. Luis Scola, oh, he almost grabbed board. Oh my gosh, Jason Kidd missed a shot. Let me stop vamping. Get a good shot, Rockets. T-Mac, no, that's too deep. That's too deep. That's too deep, T-Mac. You had so much time. We move on to the 1980 Celtics on the road taking on the 2014 Nets, who I believe are the 2 seed. This would be a massive upset and a bit too close for comfort for the 2014 Nets, but they do hold on. 5-point victory. Paul Pierce against the Celtics. How fitting. 33, 8 and 5. Too bad he never did that IRL. And our final Game 7. How poetic is this? The Clippers versus Lakers. CP3 versus Kobe, Karl Malone, and them boys. This is a 1 versus 8 matchup. This would be an insane upset. Wow, and there it is. There it is. We get a 1 versus 8 seed upset in this video. It don't get better than that. Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Kobe, Shaq. It's just the choking is in their DNA for this squad. I can't believe. Oh my word. Paul Pierce, Mr. Game 7 in this video. He did it for the Nets. Now he crushes it for the Clippers. Too bad the Wizards version of Paul didn't make the playoffs. Wow, that was a fun ride. We get the Suns, Clippers, Spurs, Grizzlies. In the East, the Heat, Bucks, Nets, Pistons. Wow. So many storylines to follow. Look at Kevin Garnett for the Nets. He won MVP. It took him 7 games in round 1, but 27, 16, and 5. My guy is filling up the stat sheet. Wow. Shaq, yeah, he couldn't be stopped too. My word. What is happening? Speaking of not being stopped, the freaking Suns, a 4-0 sweep. Nah. Dude, what are the Suns cooking? They were one of the teams mentioned a lot on that Twitter thread. People couldn't get over Jason Kidd, Steve Nash playing together. I can't believe it's working. They are very deep in in terms of production, so fair enough. They're into the West Finals. And the man I just called unstoppable, Shaquille O'Neal, he's done. Him in the Heat. What? Dude, Shaq did his thing in game 5 as the series was closed out 28-13. He had 7 turnovers though. What? D-Wade had 6 points. Nah, that's a joke. There's always a random OG team that I include in these videos that just wreaks havoc. Like, I didn't see it coming. They've got Dave Cowens playing 42 minutes a night. I mean, he's responding. He's leaving it all out there on the court, and they're into the East Finals. But we've got a pair of series that have gone 6 games. The Spurs, I thought they were the best team in this video on paper. They are up 3-2, but the Grizzlies, they won't give up. The grit and grind Grizzlies with a little prime Allen Iverson scoring injection. Yup, they've done it. They have forced a game 7 against the T-Mac Spurs. Also going down to the wire, the Brooklyn Nets are once again in hot water. They are up 3-2. The Pistons, they won't die after upsetting LeBron in round 1. Unfortunately, no such magic in round 2 for the Pistons. Dang it, dude. I'm thirsty for another clutch finish in one of these series. Brooklyn dropped 2 games. I think they're better than that. They should probably be handling business, but they advanced. That's all that matters. Look at ISO Joe Johnson going to work, step back, and oh, ISO Joe, he's in his prime too. Andre Kirilenko leading the way. Very interesting. Yo, Paul Pierce, he only shows up in game 7s. We've learned that, okay? But the lone game 7 in round 2 is not featuring Paul Pierce. It's the Grizzlies. It's the Spurs. Come on, man. Give me a clutch finish. I'm thirsty for it. So Kawhi's playing the 4. That's why. I mean, Marc Gasol on him. I know Mark won a DPOY, freaking robbed LeBron, but I don't know about that matchup. It worked. It worked. Okay, let me stop doubting. OJ Mayo going to work on prime Tracy McGrady. And he missed. Oh my gosh. Kawhi now has a mismatch on Allen Iverson. Can Kawhi Leonard take advantage here? If you can't, maybe move the ball. A step back 3. Kawhi. Okay. All right, Kawhi. That was big time. That was big time. I can't hate, brother. The Grizzlies now need a bucket, especially because they're out of timeout. So a 3 here would be so... OJ Mayo. He's got the 3 next to his name. T-Mac. Sorry, Allen Iverson. I'm getting my legends confused. Allen Iverson responds with a very clutch shot of his own. No, not to Zebo. Oh, that's space. OJ Mayo with it. What are you doing, Tracy McGrady? You just let my guy shoot like a warm-up 3 from the corner. Okay. I cannot believe Tracy McGrady with this shot at glory. He can finally win a ring. He's playing defense like that in the clutch. Oh my gosh, he's wide open. Thiago Splitter. How do you not pass him the ball sooner? For the win! Yeah! He just did it. Tracy McGrady, after playing no defense on the game time shot, after not getting the pass on time, he steps from 30 plus feet and banks home a game-winning 3. I've done seen it all. And we are down to our final 4 teams. Spurs, Suns in the West, Nets, Bucks in the East. Okay, I just gotta say, the very weird Milwaukee Bucks roster with Dave Cowens, Bob Lanier, Marcus Johnson, they are loaded. 490 plus mid-90s legends, okay? The Nets, arguably the weirdest team ever created in the NBA. They've got KG, Paul Pierce. They are so deep with 90 overalls, 80 overalls. The Spurs, as mentioned in like the first minute of this video, have the best roster on paper with 590 plus overalls, plus a winning culture, you know. And then we get to the Suns with 390 plus overalls, which is okay. They're all point guards. The 1997 Phoenix Suns, the obvious polar bear in Arlington, Texas, left among our playoff teams. I will probably be rethinking a lot about how I understand 2K simulation if they win this series, but let's find out. Jason Kidd put up 36 points, 7 assists. Steve Nash had 25 and 5 on 9 of 12 shooting as the Suns won game 2 of this series. Unfortunately, they did lose the series. All right, I was just teasing, making it seem like Phoenix did something. Nah, they got beaten 5.
I hate to see it.
With the Spurs off to the finals, we've got to figure out the Eastern Conference. The Nets once again up 3-2. I totally get Brooklyn being they are one of the best rosters. I can see them going to the finals. It's just crazy that they haven't had an easy road in any way, shape, or form, including, yep. They've got to go to game 7. They've got to go to game 7 for the second time in the playoffs. Dave Cowens is a monster. 30 points, 17 rebounds. What a hero. Based on the regular season standings, remember I said earlier, I think the Eastern Conference is way better. So I don't know, maybe either of these teams comes through and beats the Spurs, but San Antonio is so good on paper. But let me stop worrying about San Antonio because we've got a 3-point game under a minute left. It is Brooklyn's ball. They don't necessarily need a 3 right here. What was that, Kevin Garnett? No, that was terrible. Ooh, okay. The Bucks miss on the other end. KG tried a stationary floater from the mid-range and got blocked. I can't believe it. AK-47, why are you shooting, dude? Marcus Johnson going to work for the Bucks. Wow. It's really this Bucks team. Wow, Sidney Moncrief just missed the free throw. I have seen full court game winners go in. It is 2K, but I don't look at the AI is not even taking a running start. Darren will, oh my gosh. Of course he draws rim, but no, he missed. Our NBA Finals matchup is set in this alternate weird timeline. The 2013 Spurs, the 1983 Bucks. Nobody mentioned this team on Twitter. I really had to research the Bucks franchise, and then I settled on this team because I thought it was so weird to see Cowens and Lanier on the same team, a couple Hall of Famers. But all these super fun teams from the East, the Heat with Penny, Shaq, and D Wade, the Nets with all their guys, LeBron's crazy 2018 team, all these fun, weird rosters, and it's the Bucks, one of the last entries in the video. You know what? We have to move. They won 57 games in the regular season. I think they have home court advantage here. They're about to win the title. Just watch. It's gonna happen. Of course, the 2013 Spurs would have something to say about that prediction, as Kawhi dropped 34 points in a statement Game 1 victory. Despite 30 points, 12 rebounds from Dave Cowens, the Spurs would hold on for a 1-point victory in Game 2, taking both road games to start the final. Milwaukee had a counterpunch, though, as the series shifted back to Texas, a balanced 9-point win to get on the board. 24 points off the bench, though, for prime Manu Ginobili paced the Spurs in Game 4 as they grabbed a stranglehold on the series, but Sidney Moncrief helped the Bucks stave off elimination with a win at home in Game 5. And here we are, 3-2 series lead for San Antonio. They're back at home looking to close it out in Game 6. This has been a good matchup, man. I thought the Spurs were much better on paper, but the Bucks, as mentioned, I can't doubt them. They'll probably push this to 7, to be honest. Yep. I wish I could say I was surprised, but not at all. Dude, I know they have 4 dudes in the mid-90s, but 2 of them are centers. Lanier and Cowens, neither is a perimeter shooter. I'm beginning to be really curious about how this team is succeeding so much. But anyways, Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I mean, this is what we live for, right? Can we get a clutch finish, though? That's all I'm asking. Oh my gosh, we've got a tight game in the third quarter. San Antonio in control, but it's single digits. Oh my gosh. Yep. Okay, Milwaukee flipped the script. A huge fourth quarter for the Bucks. They were down 6 or 8, I believe. Oh my, Marcus Johnson in the clutch. San Antonio, you can't have empty possessions here. It's really that simple. Only one timeout left. Kawhi going to work, taking the screen from Thiago Splitter. No, Thiago, no. Why? Greg Popovich should send you to Siberia for that. Brian Winters misses. Okay, the door is still open. Thiago Splitter, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy, if you take another shot. Tim Duncan in the... Oh, no. Halfway. He did it. He really did it. This man, Thiago Splitter, didn't learn his lesson when LeBron blocked him in the 2013 Finals. Sidney... Okay, everyone's choking. Everyone is out here choking right now. Who's gonna not choke? Stop it. Stop it! You've got to be kidding me. My eyes just saw 3 straight shot attempts in the clutch with the finals hanging in the balance for Thiago Splitter, like a 78 overall. Oh my word. And like, what? Dude. I don't know, dude. Sometimes it's crazy things. And now Tim Duncan shooting a 3. Like, okay. The Spurs, an unserious franchise, just like 28 other teams in this video. Not one of those unserious teams, though. The Milwaukee Bucks from 1980. What? Why did I just see a Seattle Sonics player in the celebration? Where did he come from? Why did my man hop on a plane here? Oh, he's still there. He's punching the air. No, you did not win. I saw Seattle. They missed the playoffs. Who invited this man? With an assist to a random Seattle Sonic generated player, the 1983 Milwaukee Bucks do win the championship. Dave Cowens, man, was he on All-NBA? I can't remember the first time I saw his name in this video, but pretty impactful, I can't lie. And once more, no disrespect to the Bucks, Dave Cowens in a Bucks jersey is really strange, playing with Bob Lanier. I mentioned it a bunch of times. Probably not one of the weirdest teams in NBA history, but they made the cut for this video and they dominated. Okay, I decided to speedrun a second season simulation. Here we go. Kevin Garnett wins MVP again. Well, that's kind of anticlimactic. 2 versions of him make All-NBA first. MJ again. Oh, look at Patrick Ewing. Please tell me the Magic did something. Mellow. The Magic did not do something. They missed the freaking playoffs. Are you kidding me? The top 4 seeds, the Heat, the Bucks, the Nets, the Cavs, I think those are identical. In the West, the Spurs, Clippers. Oh, okay. They were an 8 seed last season. The Rockets and the Lakers. MJ wins a scoring title again. 31 points a game this time around. What a stud. Wow. The Bucks nearly got first rounded by Dominique Moses Malone and and the Hawks. That would have been interesting. Both San Antonio in the West and Milwaukee in the East return to the conference finals. We've got the 2018 Cavs and the 2008 Nuggets challenging them. Did I show this Nuggets team? Melo, Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby, Nene, J.R. Smith, Kenyon Martin. Always a strange team to look back on. Unfortunately, we get a rematch in the NBA Finals. Wow. I couldn't even coerce the simulation into giving us something different. We're going to simulate the Milwaukee Bucks. Oh my gosh. Did I accidentally juice them like beyond belief? They don't have a point guard. They do not have a point guard. They have 2 centers. The Spurs have 99. They are so much better. They are so much deeper. They've got every position. It's Thiago Splitter. He probably took too many shots again. It's that simple. Okay, I decided to speed run one more a 3rd season completely off camera. And look at this. Finally, we got a different outcome. Heat Lakers. That's Shaq versus Shaq in the finals. And it's the 2008 Miami Heat. Shaquille O'Neal with 21 and 10. Okay. Would have been nice to see that a little bit sooner there, 2K. The Bucks. Why were you force feeding us the Bucks? Let me know what you thought of the video down below. I don't know, that Bucks team, I don't know. They were very good, but there were a lot of very good teams. I hope you enjoyed. Drop a thumbs up if you did, and let me know what other kind of videos you'd like to see. Oh, also check out another one from my channel.